Hey, how's it going? Good. So today we are going to talk about Tumo breath. Tumo breath is also known as the inner fire, the breath of fire, the inner fire. It was originally created by Tibetan monks way up in the Himalayas, and you can still see it being practiced today. If you Google Tumo breath, and you can see them up there in the mountains. They pretty much just get into like a loincloth and go and sit out in the snow. And then they have their devotees wrap ice cold, wet sheets around them. They sit in and perform Tumo breathing, and then as they do that, the sheets dry out within a short while, and then you can actually watch steam is rising up too. They also melt all of the snow around their bodies too. It's pretty amazing. But the whole principle is that you are increasing your internal temperature, your body temperature, and this has a number of significant health benefits. It's also, they use that for meditation. And, this guy named Wim Hof took this idea, had studied it, and he ran with it, and he created his own distinct kind of a variation of Tumo breathing. It's a little less heavy on the visualizing part, but it has pretty much the same breath cycle as what we're going to learn about today. And he has done some amazing stuff. Again, just Google him, YouTube him. He is performing superhuman feats. I mean, the guy, I think he ran up Mount Everest in a pair of shorts or something. And then by performing his Tumo breathing while doing that, in a scientifically controlled environment, he was injected with some kind of pretty heinous bacteria, and he was able to burn the bacteria up just through by increasing his body temperature. Not only him, but also 6 or 7 of his followers did the same exact thing. So he's just not a complete freak of nature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain a little bit down. We're going to break it down, just talk about the Tumo breathing. Then we'll go into, we'll do the practice together. So this is going to be about 20-minute long video. I'm also going to create a video that's just me doing the technique. So I encourage you, once you learn the technique, try doing it for once a day for a week. I mean, once a day for a month even, and just see what kind of benefits you can get with it. So if you decide to make that decision to do that, then in the future you can just watch that short video that I'm going to create just of the technique, so you won't have to listen to my preamble and the prolegomena about the technique. Okay? So again, starting with Tumo breathing, there's 2 elements to this. There's a visualization aspect of it, and then there is the breath aspect to it. The visualizing, let's talk about that first. So the first thing that we do is with the eyes closed, we visualize that we are an empty vessel. So no bones, no blood, muscle, everything else is gone, just completely hollow inside. You could imagine that your body is made out of glass, or perhaps it's bronze or some metal. Or you could imagine that your body is just a balloon. But anyway, the idea of it being hollow. Now, the only thing that does exist within this hollow space is a fire which exists at the lower dantian. If you don't know much about the lower dantian, about the dantians, I have other tapes and videos you can watch about that. But anyway, it's at kind of around where the navel is. So with that fire in mind, as we are performing one aspect of the breath, where we're going to be taking in breaths, inhaling and exhaling, that's where we imagine that the bellows are working on that breath, and it's pumping up, increasing the fire, the strength. Then there's an aspect where we are actually holding our breath, And when we are holding that breath, that's when we imagine that fire is increasing, the heat is increasing, moving throughout the entire vessel, this hollow vessel, and filling it up. Every extremity is being filled to its capacity with that heat. Okay? So that's the visualization part of it. And it's really important to have that visualization and be focusing on it the whole time that we're doing the breath. There have been studies done where people are doing it with the breath, with the visualization, and not doing it with the visualization, and they found that doing the visualization for whatever reason is much more beneficial with the effects of it. Okay, so the second part is the breath. How are we doing the breath? Well, there are 3 parts to doing the breath cycle. First part is called a breath dump. So what we're going to do, I guess it's also like a lion breath can be called, but we're breathing in, taking in oxygen, and then just allowing all that oxygen just to be completely dumped out of the lungs, so the lungs are completely just empty. So here would be an example of that. Okay, so we're doing that until it's completely out. Now, after the breath dump, then we start our actual breathing cycle. The way that we do that, we inhale, and then we exhale. If you could imagine that you had like a fairly sized straw in your mouth, but we're just, again, dumping all of that, the oxygen that's within the lungs. So that's the kind of breaths we want. We want to completely expand the chest, and then we want to completely empty the chest, empty the lungs. Now, some people that do it, they are really like, the whole chest opens up, and then they're breathing forward to exhale and get every single piece out. You can do it that way if you want to. I choose just to be more, I like to work on just having my back straight. That's a big part of the Taoist training, is having a straight back most of the time. So I try to keep my back straight while I'm doing this most of the time. I do bend over when I do the breath dump. Okay, so now with that second part, we are going to do that 5 times. So that whole breath, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th, we inhale, and here comes the third part of the breath technique. As you don't exhale, but you swallow the breath, and then you watch it as it sinks down into the lower dantian. It might even feel that it's pushing out of the tummy a little bit, and then you hold. You hold it there. You hold the breath as long as you feel comfortable. Then you release it. The way that you release it, similar again, like imagine if you had that straw in your mouth, but this one is real thin, real small, and you're just letting go real gently. Getting rid of all of that breath. Okay? So that's the last of the Tumo, last of of that breath cycle. Inhaling, last breath. Swallow and hold. And when you're ready to let go, good. Now, there's another element to this. When you take that last breath and you swallow, bringing that, imagine it just moving down to the lower dantian, we are raising the perineum. So kind of the muscle that you use to control your pee, that you can kind of stop, turn on and off peeing. We are squeezing that muscle. We are also pulling down, the diaphragm is squeezed down, is lowered, okay? So there's a squeezing happening between the perineum coming up and the diaphragm coming down. So that's that. You're holding your breath and you're squeezing, okay? Now, let's work in how the visualization weaves with the breath. So we visualize first. We're going to bring up the visualization. Then we're going to take the dump breath. Take the dump. Forgive me. Anyway, then we're going to do our dump, the first breath. Jesus. Oh boy. Okay, so we're going to do that. Then we're going to start with our breath cycles with the 5 cycles, the 5 of those breaths. Now, as we're doing those 5, that's where we're imagining the bellows or doing their thing. Okay? Then when we swallow, hold and squeeze, that is when we are imagining that breath is just the fire is just moving through. It's increasing your temperature, inner temperature, your core temperature is increasing, and it's to every extremity. It's pushing out, pushing out, pushing out, and filling the whole capacity. And then we let go. That breath letting go, we don't want to be holding our breath so long that we're doing that at the end of it. We don't want to be collapsing at the end. So you want to have at least enough breath so you can just gently release it. Now you are going to be amazed at how long you're going to be able to start holding your breath. And you'll find that the later ones, what we do is we do that 5 breath cycle. We do the entire cycle 5 times. Okay. When we get into about the 3rd or the 4th, the 5th breath cycle, you'll be amazed at how long you're keeping your breath. And what's happening here is that we are filling the lungs with oxygen. The lungs, it's moving into the blood system, into the cells. So your entire body is just richly, there's oxygenation through the entire body. This is the same technique that people use that are deep diving. If you've ever seen these guys diving down, free diving is deep down, they will like hyperventilate before they do that, and they are just packing the blood system, packing the cells with oxygen before they dive down. So it's not only the oxygen being held within the lungs, but it's also the oxygen that you've brought into the cells and on that kind of a cellular level. So we're going to be doing, we'll keep it pretty consistent, but if you want to do it on your own time, just kind of play with that and see how long you can hold your breath, and you will really be amazed and surprised and able to impress your friends. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the first cycle. I'm going to kind of walk us through the first one, then the other 4, I'm just going to go ahead and do the breath, and then you'll know what to do. Okay, so we are going to start our Tumo breathing right now. Okay, so we are ready to go. So sitting nice and comfortably, nice straight back. Remember again, the head is being pulled up as if the skeleton is being pulled up by a thread. Everything else is sinking down. So you're feeling a nice elongation in the spine. The head is up. Good. Let's go ahead and close the eyes. And we're going to bring our hands and place them right at the lower dantian. Doesn't matter which hand is on top of which, but you want to make sure that Lao Gong, which is the center of the palm here, Lao Gong is on top of Lao Gong. So there we are. And then both of those are pressed against the lower dantian. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through this first breath, and then we'll just do the other 4 as we go. So starting out, so just take a nice breath. Settle. Take a couple breaths, just let go. Keeping that nice straight back. Everything's sinking, relaxing. Mind is relaxing, coming to this time and this space. Now start to bring up the visual, the image here. So seeing your inside as a huge hollow space. Nothing inside. You're made out of glass, maybe bronze or copper. But deep down in that lower dantian, there's that fire there. You're seeing that fire is burning happily at the lower dantian. I'm going to go ahead and keep my eyes open as I'm teaching, but if you want to have your eyes closed, then go ahead and do that. Okay, so wait until you have a very good visual image of that, the fire and the hollowness of the body. Once you have it, then we'll begin. So here we go. The first breath is the dump breath. Now moving into the 5 breaths. Fifth one. Swallow. Hold. Squeeze. Raise the perineum. Squeeze the diaphragm. Visualize the heat. Hold. And now gently release. Second breath. Release slowly. Keep visualizing. Third breath. Hold, squeeze, visualize. Next breath. Last one. Release. Very good. Letting the hands come out to the knees. Take a couple centering breaths. Notice the body. Listen to the body. Sense the changes. Good. Just start to roll the head. Very good. Looking side to side. Shake out the hands. Press. Okay, hope that was fun for you. It was fun for me. So just repeat every day. Try it for a week, try it for a month, and see how it is. All right, take care. Talk to you soon.